I am here with head football coach Mike McGlinchey here in Liberty, Missouri for Cardinals at Conrads. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. So last Saturday, not the outcome we wanted against the Division I Lindenwood, but statistically, it was one of our better offensive line games since 2019. 0 sacks, 248 rushing yards. Who stood out up front, and is this something we can kind of expect moving forward?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the goal is obviously to run the football to win the game, and we did a tremendous job against Lindenwood. I think just kind of talking about who stood out. I think who didn't stand out. Is really what it comes down to. We had five starters that did a tremendous job. But what some people don't realize is we lost two of our offensive linemen during that game, right? So we had two backups come in, Brandon Holman and Ricky Childers, and the running kept going. We scored points. So I really would say, the starting five and then the plus two. That's really what we're kind of trying to build here. Trying to build depth. We're trying to build that competitive spirit, and we're trying to build the next man up attitude. And I think it's really starting to come forward as we continue to grow in the program. And obviously, we're looking for better results than we've gotten so far. But I'm definitely encouraged with the direction of the program and the direction of the offense and the defense.
So it looked like Taylor Eggers got a few more snaps than usual. How does that change your offense when Taylor jumps in there?
Yeah, well, Taylor is just a different quarterback than the other three that we have on the roster. He brings that element of, he runs a little bit better than most of them. Taylor, too, is stand next to him is a huge person. He's a big guy. And then what he also has is he's got a very strong arm. He's got a little different motion, a little different release. But he's got a really strong arm. He can get the ball out quickly. So really, it puts a lot of pressure on defenses because not only do they have to cover the receivers and the running backs, but you also have to worry about Taylor running. And then he becomes an extra ball carrier in the backfield. And when the quarterback's the extra ball carrier, the running back's an extra blocker. So it really kind of changes your numbers on defense, and you really got to account for all that. It's really one of the reasons why we decided let's go with Taylor. We haven't quite won as many games as we would like to, and see if we can provide a spark. And it did, and we're looking forward to that spark to continue the rest of the year.
Yeah, Taylor's definitely one of those guys. When I stand next to him, I gotta look up at him. Maybe that's more so about me. International students, not common in football, or at least American football. Paul Geelan hits a 49-yard field goal, 3 yards shy of an institutional school record. Being from not the United States, does he bring something different to the team? Has there been a kind of a cultural change? Does that get talked about? And he definitely has the leg strength of it, but is the consistency, is that getting better?
Yeah, Paul is a guy that's got a world of potential, and he reaches that daily. Consistency is what separates all kickers from other kickers. All right, Paul has a dynamite leg where his kickoffs go 5, 6, 7 yards deep in the end zone. He's more than capable of hitting a 55-yard field goal, and on top of it, his punting is pretty world class. If I look at him, I think he could probably be a professional punter just from his body position, how he hits the ball, how high the ball goes, how it turns over. So he's really just one of those tremendous raw athletes, right? Paul is new to football, okay? And he picked up the game when he was an exchange student in Michigan, and I think he just went out to the field and kicked the ball, and he got saw by a football coach and said, "Man, you need to do this for us." But he brings a great attitude. He's a great young man. The guys love him, and he's a little naive in football talk. I think which also the guys like him because they can kid around with him and have a great time.
Senior Day this Saturday. You've got 11 seniors who've made it through coaching changes and a global pandemic. When you look back at this team, what are the things that this group of young men? What's the first thing that's going to come to mind? What are the stories you're going to tell?
Yeah, first thing that comes to mind is perseverance. I mean, if you think about this senior class, especially the ones that were redshirt freshmen when we came in 2020, kind of right there before COVID. I mean, I was their third football coach or second football coach, and some of them third football coach within 3 years. And turnover in a program is never easy because, all the rules change, and you have to adapt. And then football has to be super important to you to stick around. Trust me, a lot of them didn't. And these young men did. Really what I think about them is their perseverance, their effort, their will to win, all right, and their will to compete and fight no matter the environment. And that is something that we do preach all the time, and these guys have really bought into it. And I really like this group because their leadership, right? They haven't had a lot of success, in the win-loss column, but you would never know that how they talk about doing things right, how well they do in school. These are really first-class guys that are going to represent the William Jewell Cardinals, for the next 50 years, as an education institution and as a football program. So we're really excited about them and their opportunities.
September 1955 was the first game in Green Stadium. Now, November 2022, it will be the last. What new opportunities does a stadium, locker rooms, new amenities for these student athletes? What does that provide in terms of life to this group of young men?
Yeah, well, one, you kind of miss the history, right? When you get a new building, you miss the history. But new it just gives you a shot in the arm. I mean, this is a institution with 174 years of absolute tremendous academic profile. This is a football program with 126 years of a program and great success in our past. And what this stadium does and building does, it really just kind of sets the groundwork for the excellence that's here to come in the future. It really serves the college, the alumni, the community are behind William Jewell, and not just William Jewell football, but William Jewell athletics. And it's really exciting to be the coach, right, during this transition. Right, it might not always be the easiest job right now, okay, but it's the most exciting job because we get a chance to put our name on what the next 100 years of William Jewell football is going to be.
Yeah, something that I think is not really thought about, and I've heard Tom and President Lovewell say this, is William Jewell has survived 2 world wars, a pandemic, Great Depression, recession, and so the future of William Jewell is really exciting, and we're glad to remember that coach. Now, we do have a question for you. What's your pregame meal? What are you going to eat before a game going into this?
Yeah, pregame meal is it's pretty basic because I eat with the team, so there's going to be some eggs, maybe a bagel. I'm an East Coast guy, so bagels are big for us, and I like potatoes, breakfast potatoes. That's pretty simple, pretty easy.
How do you like your eggs?
Mostly if I'm doing them, I like them in an omelet. I can maybe throw some bacon in there, but I'm great with scrambled eggs.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach.